Zdravím vás lidi u dalšího videa. Dneska to bude takový reakční video na strašidelná videa.
Nemáme tu webkameru, protože nefunguje.
Jo, je tu se mnou Dan. On měl jako kameru takovou,
Starou.
no. Bohužel nejde, ale plánuju si koupit takovou lepší kameru. Bude určitě dobrá, snad mi půjde a snad se budete těšit. No a my jdeme zatím to spustit.
Cover my bag, alright. What the hell's that? Down on the floor. Right there.
Now, something of interest here. It looks as though the figure in the video has to crouch down to fit through the doorway. This would mean that the person, ghost star, whatever this is, had to be around 7 feet tall or more. Today, 16 years later, the two men who recorded the video still claim that the footage is 100% real. The Anguished Man. Sean Robinson has been posting YouTube videos for over 7 years of a painting that he claims is haunted. According to Sean, the painting, named The Anguished Man, has a dark history. It was painted by a mentally disturbed man who committed suicide shortly after completing it. Things.
Já vím. Tohle bych měl ty vole u sebe, abych to hned zapálil.
Že jo, tak stejně jak jsou na dostanu tu panenku, tak vyhazu. Nejenom, že jim měla v rukou nějaká sačanečka. Byla od něj trvá, že to bylo hodně.
To rádo černé dveře.
Dlouhé, chlupaté. A černé.
To si musím vzít ten obraz, prej jsem zapomněl. Nechci stávat ze židle, prej takový zavřít dveře. Už nemá náladu, asi usnu.
Over 7 years, Sean has only posted 8 videos to his YouTube channel. He says that between filmings, the painting is kept securely locked away in his attic. Headless haunting. Some kids in Iraq are filming around an old abandoned school. At first their exploration is pretty uneventful. Then one of the boys mentions in Arabic that his phone that had been fully charged was now around and the camera...
والله بفكرون شيء والله مش عارف
Ty vole!
The boys couldn't see the headless apparition with their naked eye and had no reaction. It was only later, when watching the footage back, that they noticed the chilling figure in the video. The Phantom Diner. CCTV footage from Jimmy's World Grill in Bedfordshire, England, captured some strange activity in the restaurant on tape.
jsem dožral. Tady jsem takový bratce, že si nemůžu kus. Veď.
Hnus, viď.
Veď to nechci žrát. Hnus.
Ale platit to budeš stejně. Dneska už je
Now, if this scene were being faked with multiple hoaxers pulling fishing line or strings, it seems like it might attract a little more attention from the other diners. But in the footage, no one even looks up until the noisy plates and silverware hit the floor. The girl in the graveyard. In this next clip from all the way back in 2005, Mexican TV personality Facundo Gomez goes to investigate.
No seas idiota. ¿Qué es esto, güey? No está nada lógico una niña llorando en un cementerio a las 12 de la noche. Bueno, más. A la 1:30. ¿Me va a escuchar? ¿Alguien ahí? Amiga, ¿cómo te llamas? Amiga. Niña. Ay, no seas imbécil. Me largo la... ¡Vamos! ¡Con lentes! ¡Eivor! ¡Venga, güey! ¡Venga, güey! ¡Por favor!
Now, this clip was first posted to the internet over 12 years ago. Despite rampant online speculation through the years that the film is a hoax, Facundo Gomez still claims that his clip is 100% real, and that he captured an actual ghost on tape.
Nevím, to asi mají jenom zvířata.
No právě. To mají třeba kočky, to mají.
Vole, vlkodle kopičky. Bože! To něco bylo.
There's been rampant speculation as to what the animal in the cave might be, from wolf to mountain lion or even a bear. Either way, the cave explorers wisely chose not to investigate. They turned back after their camera caught the animal's glowing eyes on video. Echoes. The YouTube channel Exploring Abandoned Mines searches out unexplored mines, caves, and tunnels. The channel also occasionally reviews tools and gear for investigating these underground mysteries. In this video, the host is reviewing.
Že by tam lítal.
I gotta get past this chute.
Jo.
Wow. Crazy. And then you can see how big these timbers are. That's about almost a foot in diameter, the big cross timbers, so they had to put big ones in here to hold up all of this rock. You can see right here where some of these boards are bending. Do you hear that? Sounds like what is that, wind? Can you, I don't know if you can hear that on the camera. Do you hear that? It stopped. Well, I don't know what that is. That doesn't sound like wind, but that's crazy. Don't know if that's a bird or I don't know what that is. It almost sounds like snakes, but wow. I've heard some weird stuff in mines, but that is definitely creepy. I don't know what that is. So let's get out of here and head back out to the portal. That was weird. I don't hear it. Wow, that was strange.
Vole.
The explorer seems mostly unfazed. He even speculates that
That doesn't sound like wind, but that's crazy. Don't know if that's a bird or I don't know what that is. It almost sounds like snakes, but wow. I've heard some weird stuff in mines, but that is definitely creepy. I don't know what that is.
all I've ever heard. Certainly not a bird or snakes. But you be the judge. Tell me what you think this sounds like in the comments below. Judge. all I've ever heard. Certainly not a bird or snakes. But you be the judge. Tell me what you think this sounds like in the comments below. I've ever heard. Certainly not a bird or snakes. But you be the judge. Tell me what you think this sounds like in the comments below. The Last Dive. Dion Dreyer was a young diver who lost the underwater cave. The body of their perfectly. Free the body, not go as planned. When Dave Shaw, he desperately tried to free him.
Now things are not to plan because the body is loose. It's not in the it's no longer stuck in the mud. Everything is loose. The body's moving around with its cylinders. Dave's working hard trying to work out what to do next, and you can see he's checking, making sure everything's right with his time. Time's getting short now. The time is nearly to the point where he needs to leave. We've now come to the end of our time now, and it's time to leave. Dave's decided he's going to leave. All on plan, everything's right. He's still working hard, everything's right. He's leaving. Something seems to be stopping him now. And he's caught in the line. Now, he's breathing very hard. It's getting quite difficult to do things. Dave's breathing would be getting quite heavy as he's trying to work his way out. And slowly, Dave would start to become incoherent, and then he would stop.
In a macabre twist of fate, Dave Shaw did accomplish his goal. The institutions
down. This might be the very end.
English? You speak English? No English.
No?
Oh, okay, okay.
Okay, come with us.
Hey Josh, do you see those, the couple that was back there?
Come on, come with us.
Tell them their daughter's up here, she's scared.
They don't speak, she doesn't speak
She doesn't
English.
speak
They don't
English.
speak English.
It's okay.
It's alright. This is the way back.
The girl had wandered off alone in the dark without a flashlight, and then panicked when she became lost in the winding cave tunnels. Josh and his friends stayed with the girl until her parents could be found. The M Cave. Kenny Veach was an avid hiker and outdoorsman who spent much of his time exploring the Nevada desert. In 2014, he posted a comment on a YouTube video about the strange experience in the cave. Worse, the virus ran away. Comment hike just a few days later.
When I was here before, and something about that cave just spooked me. Out of all the caves I've ever gone in, this one just made my body vibrate. The closer I got to it, the crazier my body felt, and I was like, alright, I'm not going to go in there right now, but I'm coming back someday. And I talked to some people on YouTube, and I told them, hey, I'm coming out here, you know, because they kind of called my hand on it.
But alas, Kenny did not find his quote M cave in the video.
Well, I did not find the cave. That is so weird. I mean, I thought for sure I was just going to be able to find it. I remember it being fairly easy. Who knows?
YouTube commenters were even more brutal, declaring the M cave somewhere in the now speculate they can survive. Well, like
No, máme tu další video.
It certainly gives an unsettling and unique adventure to the audience though. If you don't like small spaces, this content will certainly bother you. Number 12, Haunted House Exploration.
12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12
Oh my god, it's a dead body.
When it comes to exploration footage, the more unsettling the better. This video shows a tour of an allegedly haunted house that has been patient. Figure can completely and entertain.
Další blázní. A to bude asi s tím.
Number 11, Great White.
Ježi! Já bych se tak poslal.
This video was posted to the GoPro YouTube channel as part of their awards category, and it shows rare footage of a great white shark while diving and possibly hunting in the deep sea off the coast of South Africa. Johan Pogriter came face to face with the underwater beast. Great whites weigh between 1,500 and 2,400 pounds, can be up to 21 feet long, and swim at a maximum of 25 miles per hour. So aside from the sheer wonder of stumbling upon this underwater predator, there's also a slim threat posed to a human that comes in contact with them. While this brave diver does come, this video does give marvelous footage and cinematic shots of the sea creature though, footage that might cause some to look away or even squirm. Number 10, Unknown Creature. This video, which surprisingly only has around 8 grid, with his GoPro, on a small path near his home. Things are normal at first as he travels down the narrow path. Eventually, he crosses a bridge and travels the path between 2 cement walls. Just as he approaches this point, an animal jumps down from a tree and is nearly struck by the bike. In the description, the cyclist explains that he saw the creature in the tree before it jumped down, so he was able to avoid directly hitting it. A strange noise, similar to a croaking frog, is heard when the animal hits the ground. It's unclear if the animal made this noise, or if it was a result of the bike swerving though. When the footage is slowed down, the animal does resemble a monkey, but it seems too large, gray and almost hairless. Number 9, Motorcycle Fall.
Happens in a heartbeat. Keep your eyes on this motorcyclist who goes full speed over a cliff. In slow motion, you can see he actually slams into the top of a tree.
Officially uploaded by Inside Edition in 2017, the short footage shows a motorcycle rider falling off a cliff. The rider wearing the GoPro was a few feet behind 2 fellow riders and friends as they traveled quickly down a highway strip. The 2-lane road, which seems to wrap around a mountain, shows the rider going too fast around a curve in the road, unable to slow down in time or effectively shift his direction. He ultimately shoots straight forward and flies over the road railing. After flying off the road, the remaining riders stop and immediately head down to search for their friend. Thankfully, they found the rider lying in a bush.
Willie! What David found was a miracle. Willie was alive.
Just don't move, okay?
He was conscious but stunned.
My back tire like slipped, and it made me slide forward, and then I couldn't control the bike.
David stayed by his friend, who explained that his tire slipped until help arrived. He was thankfully conscious, and though he was shaken up, was overall coherent. Number 8, Zipline Fall. With a GoPro adorning his helmet, this zipper is wearing all necessary safety equipment and is seated on a small wooden set that accompanies the zip line. His original speed isn't included in the clip, but he eventually comes across a serious obstacle. In the middle of the line there seems to be a large knot or fray in the cable that makes it impossible for the zippers. The zipper decides that it's found. Luckily, he has a parachute to save him on the way to sheer height per 7. Inside footage.
I think. Whoa, bro.
In this video, uploaded by Mr. Ben Brown in March 2016, several GoPro cameras are fastened in the car. 4 friends fill the car with Ben Brown in the passenger seat. While driving through an intersection, the car is unexpectedly struck from the passenger side. The vehicle jolts to the left, several airbags deploy and the group is stunned.
Oh my god. I can't believe it. Are you guys alright? Is everyone okay?
This perspective is rarely, if ever, caught from the inside of a car and provides immediate reactions as well as the few seconds before the hit, in which the driver attempts to swerve out of the way. Additional dashcam footage that was later obtained from a car behind the incident shows the outside view of what happened. No one was hurt, and neither vehicle was badly damaged. Number 6. Train surfing. While no one should attempt it, some consider themselves professionals. This video was filmed in Vienna, Austria by Sky Joker. It begins with Sky Joker grabbing onto the back of a stopped train and tracks his high-speed travel, passing several stations and scenic routes. The video was likely cut down to make for a more viewable upload, but it's clear that Sky was on the back of the train for a lengthy amount of time. At various stops, Sky jumps off the train and either gets back on before it continues, or gets onto other trains. The 22-year-old thrill seeker warns that no one should try this, as it is very risky. Number 5. Bear chase. An anonymous bike rider was traveling down a path alone as his GoPro documented his travel. Just after taking off on the path, the rider spots a large brown bear to his right. The animal begins to charge towards him from a bundle of trees. As the rider picks up speed, the bear starts to chase him from behind. Several shots, thanks to the rider glancing back, shows the massive creature coming towards him. It's clear that this person is panicked, as he breathes heavily and tries to outrun the predator. Eventually, the cyclist comes across a large branch in the middle of the trail, and he seems as though he abandons his bike and starts to run away on foot. After a moment, he comes to a stop and hides in a wooded area. The bear is not spotted again, and the frazzled human continues to exit the forest. Number 4. Jellyfish encounter. Jellyfish, commonly referred to as jellies, come in a wide variety of species. Some are lethal, some are harmless, and some can hurt you but not do extensive damage. This video was captured underwater with the help of a GoPro and shares a swimmer's encounter with a Rhizostoma pulmo jelly. In this video, the swimmer skillfully avoids the tentacles of the jelly and thus avoids a sting. The footage is still one of a kind. Number 3. Shark footage. This video, filmed in late 2013, shows what it's like to be chased and eaten by a shark. Crewmen of a sport fishing boat, known as the Pumpkin Heart, attached trail bait and a GoPro to their vessel to capture this thrilling footage. A mako shark began to chase the bait and boat. Mako sharks can swim up to 22 miles per hour and weigh over a ton. What begins as just a dark spot in the water eventually becomes a massive beast approaching the camera. While glaring its teeth, the shark quickly snaps off several of the bait fish, dips out of the scene, and eventually creeps back in for more. dips out of the scene, and eventually creeps back in for more. To date, the video has over 3 million views and is considered to be one of the best amateur shark videos ever captured. Number 2. Train dodging. Much like the sport of train surfing, train dodging involves thrill seekers purposefully standing in the path of a fast approaching train to jump out of the way in the nick of time. Train dodging is usually performed in rail stations or tunnels. In this case, a large group of people enter a dark tunnel to practice their sport. The fast-paced footage shows the group exploring the tunnel, standing on the railways and jumping to safety. Thanks to GoPro equipment, the video also shows footage of dodgers standing against the tunnel wall, only a few inches from the train as it passes. A perspective that isn't always easy to capture once the person has jumped to safety. The risks of this act are blatant, and many question why anyone would put themselves in this situation. With over 13,000 views on this video alone though, then follow me on Instagram at DylanIsChillinYT with a popular diver that provided fans with magnificent underwater footage with the aid of his GoPro. In this video, which was later uploaded by Inside Edition, Jake is recording what he believes are his final hours alive. While diving off the coast, he was suddenly swept away by a current, and when he finally emerged, he found that the dive boat had abandoned him. He swam for several hours, lost and exhausted. Knowing the dangers of the ocean, especially alone at night, he decided to pull out his GoPro and record some final messages for his family.
Just when night has fallen and he thinks the end is near, a search plane suddenly appears overhead.
Plane's coming back. Smoke it. Plane would have to come back.
He explains the situation and shows that the sun is quickly setting. Before he shares his goodbyes, Jacob was fortunately saved and later explained that his wetsuit and emergency device were what saved him in the end. Despite floating for about 6 hours, Jake also says that his ability to stay calm and not panic was an important factor in his survival. This proves that when diving or performing any dangerous sport, the proper equipment is absolutely necessary. Not only did Jake make it to safety, he was able to document several hours of footage to share his experience and advise fellow divers of the correct procedures in this situation. Though the video is... We made this top 15 list a little while ago and I think you're really gonna like it. Check it out and tell me what you think. Number 15, a frozen maiden. One of the strangest and scariest discoveries found frozen in ice holds an innocent title, the Maiden. You may be thinking, well, that's not so scary, but think again. This Incan mummy is the thing nightmares are made of. The well-preserved mummy was found alongside 2 young child mummies, 22,000 feet above sea level, on the slopes of a volcano. Although it was 1999, nearly 500 years after she died, the maiden still had lice in her hair. All 3 were preserved in the icy mountain, completely ready to rise from the dead. Johann Reinhard, an American archaeologist and member of the expedition that discovered the 3 mummies, said, "The doctors have been shaking their heads and saying they sure don't look 500 years old, but as if they died a few weeks ago, and a chill went down my spine the first time I saw her hands because they look like those of a person who is alive." The history of this poor maiden is devastating enough to make you sympathetic to her plight. Even if she's a bit of a Frankenstein monster, she was likely suffering from tuberculosis or a similar bacterial infection when her people decided it was best to sacrifice her to the Yoyayeco volcano in Argentina. How do archaeologists know this? They swabbed the ancient patient's lips and compared it to living pathogens. One of the archaeologists, Korthals, said of the method, "Our technique opens a new door to solving some of history's biggest mysteries. It will also enhance our understanding of our future greatest threats, such as the emergence of new infectious agents or re-emergence of known infectious diseases." Amongst the bodies was a grand collection of silver and gold, textiles, statues, pots with food in them, and a feathered headdress, suggesting that the trio were sacrificed, not to appease the gods, but to enter the realm of the gods and live in paradise alongside them, despite being killed before their time. The 3 sacrificed mummies are now presumably enjoying an afterlife that's markedly better than the disease-infested life they experienced on Earth. Here's hoping anyway.
Dáme další video, ne?
Dobře, takže lidi, jak jste slyšeli, 15 lajků a je hodinový speciál, 10 lajků a je půlhodinový special video.
No to vám sedu. Další 30-minutový video.
Je za 10
Nějaký...
lajků.
OK, za 10 lajků.
Kolik máš odběratelů?
Ježiš, nevím, jak to mám vědět.
Kolik jsi měla vědět?
Ježiš.
20 ne?
Nevím. Prostě 10 lajků
Ale
pro další díl.
15 lajků nedaj, takže můžeme dát 15 lajků na hodinu. To nedaj.
Ty vole, prostě 10 lajků, jo?
A proč uděláme rovnou stream za 15?
Nasrat.
Za video za 15 stream?
Prostě 10 lajků pro další díl na reakční video.
A pro 15 tam dostaneme.
A bude to už vánoční reakční video, takže se budete těšit.
Budou animace.
No. A my se s vámi budeme loučit.
Takže...
Čau, bez.
Čus.